So I've just started the okay. So thanks for joining, guys.
Yeah, he's in the room.
So if you switch your mic off, please, whoever that is who's just joined. Thank you. So this is going to be our last lesson on simultaneous equations. Well done, those of you who are keeping up with the work. Josh, I thought that was an outstanding bit of work you did, those harder ones, so very well done, and others of you. Now, what I think I'm going to introduce a bit more into our lessons is we'll still do the live bit, I'll still do the teaching, but I think it's quite onerous for you all to have to keep uploading lots of work. It's taking a lot of time. So what I'd like to do is sort of introduce that the homework bit of the lesson is Hegarty Maths, because that automatically marks, which means if you don't have an opportunity to upload your work, then at least you know you've done it and you've got a mark. Okay. I'll come back to the uploading in a minute, but I just want to remind you all how to log in to Hegarty Maths. So you obviously, if you haven't saved it already, go and Google Hegarty Maths. Spell Hegarty, Hegarty Maths, and take the student login option. And because there are lots of schools out there called King's School, I think when it says find your school, just write Gloucester in there and you will see that it prompts the King's School as the second option. So click on King's School, then you've got to go and enter your details, okay, including your date of birth. Now, I remember with a couple of you, you struggled at this point because the school have gone and told Hegarty the incorrect date of birth. So if you find you can't get past this stage, just go and send me a note on Teams, and I will go and let you know what date of birth the school have told Hegarty Maths is yours. It doesn't matter if it's the wrong date of birth. I can just tell you what date of birth is on the Hegarty system, and then you can go and use that date of birth to make sure you get in, okay? You will then get on to an option to put your password in. Totally fine if you've forgotten your passwords. Just go and send me a note on Teams and I will reset your password, and it will be reset within seconds. So I will make sure after this live recording I'm keeping a close eye on Teams. So I'm expecting quite a few of you to struggle to log in, so I'll be there to help you log in, okay? So what you will, once you've logged in, I have gone and set this task here as being your task today, number 193, okay? Now, Casper's already mentioned it, that it looks like it's hard to see what work's been set. I have set it, but I think because so many schools, so many kids are on Hegarty Maths, it's taking a couple of days sometimes for Hegarty to acknowledge what work has been set by a teacher. So not to worry, you've just got to go and search and find this video, this exercise, and just complete the exercise, okay? I will still see it. It doesn't matter that it looks at your end that it hasn't been set for you. I can still pick up your marks because you guys can go and do any of the videos that you want. So just go into the search engine, pop in 193. It will pop up saying simultaneous equations by elimination 4, and you go and click that option, and that's the one you're going to need to do as your homework. So feel free to watch the video if you want, or if you feel confident, you can just launch into doing the questions, okay? Now, you'll probably see that there's lots of other assignments, lots of other pieces of work that Hegarty Maths say that you haven't yet completed. Just ignore all of those, please. They'll be like optional ones I've set you in the past. So just focus on number 193, only 193, okay? No others, ignore all the others, okay? Now, so this is an example of what the question will look like, so very familiar to you. I just thought I would run through one question, only one, just to remind you. So I'm going to do this one here. So the issue that we have is that the X's and the Y's aren't lined up. Now, in order to line them up, I could do two things. I could line the y's up by doubling equation number 1, or I could line the x's up by doubling equation number 2. Either would be fine. I've decided to do the first of those. So I've gone and taken equation number 1 and doubled all three terms. So I've doubled 3x, I've doubled y, I've doubled 14, and that gave me 6x plus 2y is 28. And then I've gone and brought down equation number 2 underneath this, and because of that doubling, I've now got plus 2y in each of the equations. Now, because the variable that I've lined up has got the same sign, to eliminate it, to make it disappear, I've got to choose to take away this equation from this equation. So 6x take away x is 5x. 2y take away 2y is nothing. That's the whole point. 28 take away 3 is 25. So y's gone. So 5x equals 25. So obviously x must be 5 because 5 5s are 25. Now that's worked out one of the two variables. I've worked out x, but I've got to go and do step 2 and work out what y is. So you go back and you choose either of your opening two equations. It doesn't matter which one. I've chosen the top one, 3x plus y equals 14. Now I've just worked out that x is 5, so I replace the x with a 5. So 3x, which means 3 times x, 3 times 5 is 15. So I've got 15 add y being 14, so my y value must be minus 1. Now, that's it. All right, you're just going to have, I don't know, 5 questions, something like that to do on this. Now, you don't have to upload your workings, okay? But A, I would like you to, because I'd like to see how you're presenting your work and what have you. The other thing is that you might be getting them wrong on Hegarty, all right? So you might get a low mark, but Hegarty doesn't give you method marks. I can. So if you say only got 50% on Hegarty, you go and send me through your workings. I might be able to bump that mark up to 70 or 80% because I can take into account your workings, okay? Now, obviously, if you've got 100%, you can't get your mark bumped up anymore. But I was just marking a second former's work a minute ago, and she got 33% on Hegarty because it just marks it correct or incorrect. All right, it's just a machine. It just marks the answer. When I went and took into account all of her workings, her mark went up from 33% to 80%, 80%, because she was only making one little slip each time. So she should have been getting lots of method marks. So that's a really good reason for uploading your work onto Teams. I can bump up your mark. I can include method marks. So please do try to upload your work onto Teams anyway. It can improve your mark. And just to remind you where you're filing it, you go into Class Notebook, you then click on the Homework tab, and you will see that I've already created the pages over on the right for you to upload to. So you've already got a page there waiting for you saying 10.2 Simultaneous Equations Hegarty. That is where you would go and load your work to. All right. So that's the end of this lesson. So what I would like you to do straight away is to go and try and log into Hegarty Maths, please. This video will obviously upload in the next few minutes if you need to play it back to remind yourself of anything. Okay. And again, just to be the bit I really want to make clear, when you go onto Hegarty Maths, it's only number 193 that you need to do. Casper was suggesting it doesn't already say that that homework's been set. He's probably right, okay? I set it yesterday, but it's taking ages to upload. So don't worry about the fact that it doesn't say it's one you've got to do. Just go and search for 193, okay? Make sure it's the simultaneous equations by elimination number 4, and that's the only one you need to do. Ignore everything else. So you've only got to do that one exercise. Upload your work if you can, and I might be able to improve your mark even further. Okay, so that's it, guys. So well done. You're all working really well. I'm just going to go and switch the recording off.